Hey guys, it's Oluvids, and today I want to talk about Sora and Kyrie needing to be together. Now, what do I mean by this? I don't mean that, a couple-wise they are already together, as we've seen in Kingdom Hearts 3. What I mean is, well, literally together in the same place more often. So throughout the series, we've always seen that they've had a very special connection. The series does also show us that they are, in a way, always by each other's side in different situations. In Kingdom Hearts 1, Kairi was with Sora throughout most of the journey because her heart was inside his body, and so they had the same experiences, and she subtly communicated to him in certain points of the game. Next, we have in Kingdom Hearts 2 where Kairi's connection helps Sora and Riku get out of the realm of darkness with the door to light. It activates specifically after Sora reads the letter and the words that were written by Kairi. Next, we had Kingdom Hearts 3 where Kairi kept Sora's form from fading away completely within the final world, and it helped him come back to life. And then we have Sora lending his help in Kairi's dream within Melody of Memory. She kind of morphed into him for some reason. Of course, that's not something that could actually happen within the real world. That was more of a dream, but he did actually come through for her to help her out, despite his voice not being able to reach. So sure, I do understand that their bond is a type where they're always together despite not actually being next to each other, but I think it's about time for them to actually be next to each other more often. There's a lot of good reasons for them to be around each other a lot more often, and something that they could implement in the next phase of Kingdom Hearts. Them being together more often could definitely develop them more as a pair, because they have a lot of nice moments, but they're very rare and far in between. Now, this is more something that bothered me specifically. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but despite having 10 plus games in the series, I feel like in Kingdom Hearts 3, when Kairi and Sora shared the Papu fruit and became a, official couple or pair, it felt kind of underdeveloped to me, like it didn't really feel like it was built up. And sure, they've had lots of moments. They've had the cave drawing showing that they both do want to share a Papu with each other, but it's the fact that throughout the entire series, Sora and Kairi kind of rarely interact. They're always very separated, and even when they're together, they go off and separate again. For example, after Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora even sees that Kairi wants to share a Papu with him too, but instead of actually doing it, they end up going over to Yen Sid, and Sora and Kairi do not have a single scene together. Like, they kind of built up to it and didn't really do anything until Kingdom Hearts 3, and even in that game, Sora and Kairi do not interact until like all the way towards the end of the game. I think that if they have a game where they're fully together throughout at least like 70 or 80% of the entire game, it can really help with the development and help them completely feel completely as an actual couple or pair. And I'm not gonna lie, this is partially inspired by the fact that I just played Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and Noah and Mio as a pair were extremely well. They only had one game to develop them, and they did a massively good job. And just it gets you invested in those characters. They just had really well character work, and I want this type of character chemistry to work in Kingdom Hearts. I wish Sora and Kyrie were this well together, and not even just as a couple, but just in general as a pair of characters work really well together. And Mia was very involved in the plot. She wasn't just like a plot device or a damsel in distress or someone who are like, oh, you have to go save her or get her body back or something like that. Kairi, now this is something that's going into more of a widespread problem that people have with Kairi, that Kairi's often just either unconscious, dead, or just out of the way. I think Sora and Kairi being together for a majority of a game would help her actually do more in the story. I don't think there's anything wrong with maybe her going along with Sora on a journey. Now granted, Sora is alone right now in Kingdom Hearts 4, but this is the entire next phase going on. We don't know what's going to happen after Kingdom Hearts 4, or if they're going to meet up with him or not. But let's say they do, at least by the end of Kingdom Hearts 4, meet up with Sora, Riku and Kyrie meet up. At the very least, we could have maybe one game at least with Sora and Kyrie in a party together. You could even have Donald and Goofy still there, and there's only positives in that. It'll do more for the character and do more for them as a pair. Not only that, but it could also let us have multiple playable characters in a party. Now, of course, in other RPGs, you get to switch party members, and in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, you can choose between Sora and Kyrie, and a lot of people liked that, and I think they should do more of that going further in the series. But taking it a step further, if she's there with you in the party, you can choose between Sora and Kyrie and play as them throughout the worlds and all that kind of stuff. Let's say they don't want to make Donald and Goofy playable. At the very least, you can have two different choices for the main journey. Sora and Kyrie, you can choose between them. They'll both be there in story, and they'll both be there in cutscenes, but you can play as Kyrie if you feel like, choosing a different character. Or if you just want to stay as Sora, you can still do that and still have the option. So you could essentially have a whole game where you could play as Kyrie, which is something that people do want. And you won't have to kick Sora out or do anything to him. You could have both of them side by side having a really good story going throughout an entire journey throughout Disney Worlds or whatever they want to do. Another point, this is a whole new phase, so there's no reason for them to have to stick to the same formula of having to always break up the parties. A lot of Phase 1 focused on characters looking for other characters getting separated, characters, you know, dying and all that, and then Kingdom Hearts 3 and Dream Drop Distance focus on getting them all back together. Well, now you have every character back together, and now we can focus on developing those trios, if not whole games, then at least sections of the games to, you know, really strengthen the characters. There isn't really a need for them to have to always keep breaking the characters apart. They've broken the characters so much apart that like now it's rare for them to actually be together for a long period of time. Honestly, this could be a bigger discussion about just the entire cast of Kingdom Hearts, but I just want to keep this at least Sora and Kyrie. They don't need to make every single party playable, but at least Sora and Kyrie being together would be a step in the right direction. I would say have Riku with them too, but they often like to pair him with Mickey, and maybe 3 party members, you know, Sora, Riku, and Kyrie all in the same place would be a bit too much, maybe. I mean, I don't think it would be. They can obviously write a good story with those 3, but they often like to have Riku doing his own mission, and they like to pair him up with Mickey, which is fine too. I mean, you can often, you know, maybe switch over to Riku and Mickey at certain points of the game, kind of like how they did in Kingdom Hearts 3. Again, Kingdom Hearts 3 actually did some good steps towards multiple playable characters and characters teaming up and all that kind of stuff. And I think that they need to keep going forward with this in the series, starting with Sora and Kyrie. I mean, they built up Sora and Kyrie throughout the whole series, or at least hinted and shown that they want to be, you know, a pair together, a couple. And now they went and finally did it. Now it's time for them to show, like, okay, what are we going to do with the fact that they have their destinies intertwined with the Paopu Pro, even though their destinies kind of were already intertwined, but they went and made it official in Kingdom Hearts 3. So now what are we going to do with that? Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want to see more of Kyrie in terms of being a playable character or being paired up with Sora and sticking with him? And again, I'm not saying that like she needs Sora to be good, but like it would be a really good game. I think they could have a really good game where they're the central two, and then you have Donald and Goofy off there to the side, and of course still going along with the journey. But let me know what you think, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.